Gyökeres a little bit later in the show, but I wanted to touch on Trent Alexander-Arnold because Liverpool are now getting money for him.
Yeah, they are. So when you think about how little is left on Alexander-Arnold's contract, or was now, because he's a Real Madrid player as of June the 1st. But up until when Liverpool lifted the Premier League trophy, the expectation from Liverpool was that Alexander-Arnold would either see out his contract and thus miss at least half of the Club World Cup, or if Real wanted him, they would have to pay not just nominal compensation, but a transfer fee. And that's exactly what's happened. So Liverpool are to receive 10 million euros for the final 30 days of Trent Alexander-Arnold's contract. And it shouldn't be seen as just a buyout. It's a transfer fee. He's been signed for money. So he's not leaving Liverpool on a free with a little bit of compensation to get him early. He's leaving Liverpool for 10 million euros. And this is a deal that has been driven by Richard Hughes, who was part of the modelling to understand what Alexander-Arnold was valued at for the final 30 days. And Liverpool factored in the fact that Real had desire. They want him at the Club World Cup. And also, Real are earning a lot of money by being at the Club World Cup, both in terms of prize money, but also other things, because joining a tournament like that as Real Madrid, you get a lot of hype, you get a lot of sponsors, you get a lot of interest. Being able to unveil Trent and make his debut likely against Al Hilal on June the 18th, that has value for Real Madrid. So Richard Hughes took a data-driven approach and formulated this number of 10 million euros, which Real quickly agreed to. Michael Edwards then led the negotiations, and there was actually a breakthrough, believe it or not, on Sunday night, about 2 hours after Liverpool had officially lifted the Premier League trophy. And then from there, it's all been finalised. Real have announced that Trent Alexander-Arnold has signed a 6-year deal, 10 million euros to Liverpool, but they actually see the money as 10 million pounds. And the reason for that little bit extra is because in addition to the 10 million euros fee, Liverpool are also saving 30 days of Trent Alexander-Arnold wages. So when you add the wage savings to the transfer fee, it's basically 10 million to Liverpool, which is astonishing. And then in January, I can reveal Real Madrid tried to buy Trent Alexander-Arnold, and they made 2 approaches. The first, a verbal one for 20 million euros. The second, a verbal bid for 25 million euros. And Richard Hughes turned it down because they felt that regardless of the money and the fear at that point of losing Trent on a free, it was better to use Trent to get over the line to win a 20th top flight title and a second in the Premier League. And now Liverpool are naturally delighted because it suits all parties. Trent gets his new challenge, Real Madrid get their man for the Club World Cup, and Liverpool get 10 million for 30 days, releasing Trent Alexander-Arnold, and they can put that towards their summer rebuild. And then, by the way, Jeremy Frimpong is done and is likely to be announced also later today.
Yeah, it's been a fantastic start, as you mentioned, for Liverpool, and getting that 10 million in for 30 days. I know it isn't quite the 70 or 80 million pounds that Liverpool fans were wanting if he'd have signed the new deal, but it's something, and it shows how much Real Madrid want him. They want to go and win this tournament. A lot of teams wanting to bring in those new players. And with Frimpong happening, Vertz is how close is Vertz now to being done and dusted and over the line?
Yeah, Liverpool are confident on Vertz. It's sort of a race between Kirkos and Vertz to see which becomes the next bit of business for Liverpool. Kirkos is a bit simpler because there's a price of over 40 million pounds. And if Liverpool meet that, maybe it even goes as high as 45, then Kirkos has already agreed terms. So as I revealed 2 months ago, Liverpool are leading the race for Kirkos. Kirkos wants to join Liverpool. And the expectation now is that deal gets done. It's really just about the club-to-club talks. Whereas with Vertz, everybody got excited, and I suppose rightly so from a Liverpool point of view, because Vertz had informed both Man City and Bayern that his preference was to go to Anfield. Despite that, Liverpool have been cautious because they still sense there is a possibility, even if it's not the most likely scenario, that Vertz just stays at Leverkusen, does an extra year, and then moves in summer 2026. And I think the reason why Liverpool are cautious is partly because that's the nature of how they do business. It was the same for Zubimendi. A lot of people were celebrating Zubimendi to Liverpool, and Liverpool were saying, hang on a minute, the player's very sensitive. The player's very in love with the club. Let's just not say it's done until we get a signature. And they were right, because Zubimendi woke up, changed his mind, and now is going to Arsenal instead. So with Vertz, it still requires that club-to-club negotiation. It will definitely be a club record for Liverpool if they get it over the line. Talks are advanced. Liverpool feel it's heading in a very positive direction. So there is a very realistic chance that this now gets resolved in the 1st to the 10th of June window and Vertz becomes a Liverpool player. But there is just that part of nagging doubt within the Liverpool hierarchy that says, Leverkusen are not just going to bend over here. Leverkusen are going to want an important fee. It's not like Frimpong. There's no release clause. So right now, all I can tell you on Vertz is that there is no club-to-club agreement as of Friday morning. There are further talks this afternoon. They're moving in a positive direction. I would expect come the end of the window, Vertz to be a Liverpool player. I would expect Kirkus to be a Liverpool player, and Frimpong is done. And then I still think Liverpool will spend important money on a number 9 as well. So this is going to be a really big and important summer for Liverpool backing Arne Slot. But with Vertz, let's just be patient, because Leverkusen have a great relationship with Liverpool. But when you're negotiating a deal in excess of 100 million euros, it may just take a bit more time.
Absolutely, as you say, and there's so many, as you say, I's to dot, T's to cross in a deal like that. Viewers, give us your thoughts, give us your opinions in the comments section below. A few jokes in the super chats there. Alejandro Garnacho said yes to Real Madrid. The only issue is Madrid didn't ask him anything. Jason here says, fantastic work by Hughes and Edwards. 10 million for 30 days, and United gets paid 8 million to drag a tired, unhappy squad to play off the season tourney and losing. Yeah, we might get 80 million pounds for a player that you Liverpool fans said was washed. So I'm going to defend my club there a little bit, my old mate. I'm going to get onto the strikers that Liverpool might go to later, because I want to kind of do that when we get to Arsenal, because I think there's such overlap in the striker conversation. With Chelsea, obviously a massive week. They qualified for the Champions League. They win the Conference League. And I want to make sure the viewers know this. Ben, who's on the show, has now dropped one of his Jacobs crackers yesterday and broke the news before anybody else that the Lap was choosing Chelsea. They are in talks, of course, and it's been fairly well documented that they're going to be looking for another striker. I suppose Chelsea fans would like to know, with the Lap coming in, will it be a similar profile, a different type of player, an older individual? The Lap's done. What's next for Chelsea in the transfer window, Ben?
By the way, I love the fact now when I break anything, I'm getting a Jacobs cracker, a Ben banger. And I know that they're viewers of this show, because we've only ever mentioned it in one place. And therefore, anyone commenting on X or elsewhere, I know that you've obviously seen this show, which is great. And we've had a few, haven't we? The Cunha one was my exclusive, both the agreement of a 5-year contract and the original interest, the Man United and Mbuemo one, the Delap one. So, and I say this very warmly to the chats, because I always appreciate the honesty and the engagement. But when Lyle says ban Jacobs is like a 5th-tier journo, fine, you're entitled to that opinion, but at least spell my name right. B-E-N, not B-A-N, and Jacobs with an S, not an apostrophe S. So maybe Ban Jacobs is a 5th-tier journalist, but Ben Jacobs at least is up to 4th tier after my recent Philip exclusives. That's all I'm going to say.
You've had that promotion. You've had that promotion to at least 4th tier.
But to be honest, I like it, because the whole point of this is we have to have some fun with it, and everyone's entitled to their opinions. So I appreciate all of the comments and the engagement. I'll always do my best to answer your questions and engage with you. So